Coach Cori, I mean, just back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances, so much success with the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
What would you make of last season?
I really try to stay away from the outcome, good or bad, determining the value of the journey. We maybe played some of the best basketball of any team I'd ever coached when we were playing at our height last year. And then had, real disappointment in how we showed up in the last, in our Sweet 16 game against LSU. I think all of us, and I take responsibility first, we knew we didn't play our best when our best was needed. And so really being willing to dig into that of, okay, what led to that? And it's the mental side of the game more than anything physical. We have plenty of talent. One of the things I've really tried to do is help us to lead through chaos. When things don't go as we planned, how do we still show up well? And so that's been something I've really been focusing on and really just being present. When adversity hit last year, we let it get to us a little bit too much. We didn't have what we would call next play speed as much as we would want. So those are some of the things that we're thinking about this year as a result of learning from last year.
Just leading these young group of women, I know you're the coach, you're the teacher, but what have they taught you?
Oh, I think more so, like that I've learned from them more than I've been able to teach them. I'm a big believer that before anything is done through you, it has to be done in you. And so I think sometimes when I'm saying to them something, it's really holding up a mirror to me. Today in our mind gym session, we talked about how you talk to yourself, and just literally out loud, or when we show film, we showed defensive film today and it wasn't warm and fuzzy. How are they internalizing that, right? Are they saying, oh, I can fix that, oh, I got that, this is what I'm going to do to adjust there? Or are they going, why can't I get that right, why is she picking on me? And I think all of us have a default, but if I'm being honest, so do I. How come I can't teach that better? Why can't I bring that out of them instead of, okay, here's my next right step? What's neutral thinking taught me? So our 3 core values are a growth mindset, being people of gratitude, and to be lifestyle givers. And and it's one of those things that I have to ask myself, am I modeling that? Coach Wooden used to always say the best lessons are not taught, they're caught. And so more importantly than anything I share with you or share with them is, do they match up with my actions?
Another mantra that you have, sometimes me, sometimes we, always us. Can you describe that for me?
There's going to be different people that step up in different moments, but it really is never about whether sometimes you, sometimes me. That's really irrelevant. It's really about always us. We see that as a badge of honor. Other people may see that as this deep sacrifice. We see that as like the greatest privilege, that you get to be a part of something bigger than yourself. You get to collectively sacrifice and link together so that the picture is greater than the sum total of its parts. And so I just think every year is like an art project. And I think, different people are going to have to sacrifice at different times. And especially when you have a roster like we have, right? It's going to be somebody different every night. And you've got to really pre-decide that the 4 letters across your chest are the most important thing.
When you look at what you have in the locker room, what do you believe this team can do?
Anything they're willing to truly put their minds to. And they are a really great work ethic team. You saw they're a come early, stay late kind of group, which I'm very proud of. But the next piece is how they take their work ethic and skill and they learn how to compete with that. And I do think that's a different skill set, is learning how to compete. And I'm not talking about just the scoreboard. I'm talking about compete with yourself to have your commitments be greater than your feelings. Compete with, for a perfect rep in a drill. Compete with, okay, what does this situation require of me? Or who's on my team today and how can I make them better? I think that's part of life and business, but it's also a part of championship culture.
For UCLA to bring home its first national title, what will it take?
And I always clarify this to give them their flowers, but we actually do have a national title in 1978. It was just before the NCAA acknowledged. It was AIAW, but they sold out Pauley Pavilion and they won a national championship. So always want to give them their flowers. I think it's going to take team, humility, work ethic, and I said earlier, intense, fierce competition, and within ourselves, with each other, and then most importantly, our foes.